The bills were piling up, a relentless tide threatening to pull me under. Being a single dad to my little girl, Lily was the greatest joy of my life, but also the heaviest weight. Every morning her bright smile was a reminder of everything I was fighting for. And every night the stack of final notices on the kitchen counter was a reminder of how badly I was failing. I worked 2 jobs, a mechanic by day and a short order cook by night, but it was never enough. The rent was late again, and the landlord's patience had worn thin. Desperation was a bitter taste in my mouth. One evening, scrolling through job listings on my cracked phone screen, I saw an ad that made me pause. Night security guard. High pay. No experience necessary. It was at a high-end exclusive research facility on the outskirts of town, a place shrouded in rumors and mystery. The pay was almost too good to be true, enough to catch us up on rent and maybe even afford Lily that new bike she'd been dreaming of. The catch? The shift was from midnight to 6 a.m. It meant even less sleep, even less time with Lily. But what choice did I have? I applied, and to my surprise, I got the job. My first night was eerie. The facility named Ethelred Labs was a monolith of glass and steel, silent and imposing under the moonlight. The head of security, a stern man named Mr. Thompson, gave me a quick tour. "Your job is simple," he said, his voice echoing in the cavernous lobby. "Patrol the designated route. Don't touch anything. Don't go anywhere you're not supposed to. Most importantly, never, under any circumstances, enter the sublevel labs. Is that clear?" He handed me a key card and a flashlight, his eyes lingering on me for a moment before he left. The first few hours were a blur of empty hallways and humming servers. The silence was deafening, broken only by the squeak of my own shoes. As I patrolled the 3rd floor, I passed a series of large windows looking into a pristine laboratory. Inside, a team of scientists in white coats were working frantically, their faces illuminated by the glow of complex machinery. They moved with an urgency that felt out of place for 3 in the morning. It was strange, but I remembered Mr. Thompson's warning and kept moving. My route took me down to the ground floor, past the main server room. As I walked by, I noticed a faint, rhythmic beeping sound that wasn't there before. It was subtle, almost lost in the hum of the servers. I stopped, listening. The beeping was coming from a ventilation shaft near the floor. Curiosity got the better of me. I knelt down, pressing my ear to the metal grate. The beeping was clearer now, accompanied by a low, almost inaudible whisper. It sounded like a voice, distorted and weak. My heart started to pound. This was exactly the kind of thing I was supposed to ignore. Don't touch anything. Don't go anywhere you're not supposed to. The words echoed in my head. I should just walk away, finish my patrol, and pretend I heard nothing. But what if someone was in trouble? What if it was a trap? My mind raced. Every instinct screamed at me to leave it alone, to not risk the job that was my family's lifeline. But the thought of Lily, and the kind of man I wanted to be for her, pushed me forward. I couldn't just walk away if someone needed help. Taking a deep breath, I used the edge of my flashlight to pry open the vent cover. It came off with a soft click. The beeping was louder now, and the whisper was clearer, though still garbled. It was a cry for help. I shone my flashlight into the darkness of the shaft. It was a tight squeeze, but I could fit. This was a terrible idea. I could get fired, or worse. But the voice, weak and desperate, compelled me. I squeezed into the vent, the cold metal pressing against my clothes. The shaft was a maze of twists and turns. I followed the sound, crawling on my hands and knees, my flashlight beam cutting through the oppressive darkness. After what felt like an eternity, the shaft opened into a larger duct. Below me, through another grate, I saw it. A small hidden room not on any map I was given. Inside, a woman was slumped in a chair, her hands tied. A small device on the table next to her was emitting the rhythmic beep. She was one of the scientists I'd seen earlier. Her eyes were wide with fear as she looked up straight at me. Before I could react, I heard footsteps approaching the room. 2 large men in black security uniforms, not the ones I'd seen earlier, entered. "Is she secure?" one of them asked, his voice gruff. "She won't be a problem," the other replied. "By the time the boss gets here, the transfer will be complete." My blood ran cold. They were going to do something to her. I had to act, and I had to act fast. I I looked around the duct. A few feet away was a heavy fire suppression canister. It was risky, but it was my only chance. As the men turned their backs, I put all my strength into dislodging the canister. It crashed through the grate below, landing with a deafening clang and spraying foam everywhere. The men spun around shocked. In that moment of confusion, I dropped down into the room, landing awkwardly but on my feet. I grabbed a heavy metal tray from a nearby cart and swung it with all my might at the first guard. He went down with a groan. The second guard lunged at me, but I was faster. Years of manual labor had given me a strength he didn't expect. So after a brief, frantic struggle, he was on the floor next to his partner. I rushed to the scientist and quickly untied her. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Thank you," she gasped, rubbing her wrists. "They were trying to steal my research. We have to get out of here." Just then, an alarm blared through the facility, its red lights flashing ominously. We ran, the scientist leading the way through a series of back corridors I never knew existed. She swiped a keycard at a heavy steel door, and we burst out into the cool night air, just as several black cars screeched to a halt in the parking lot. We didn't stop running. We ran until the sound of the alarms faded, until our lungs burned. She led me to a small, all-night diner a few miles away. As we caught our breath over cups of coffee, she told me everything. Her name was Dr. Eris Thorne, and she was the lead researcher at Ethelred Labs. She had developed a revolutionary clean energy source, and a corporate rival was trying to steal it, using insiders from the security team.
Ow.
The men I took down were part of that rival's private security. As the sun began to rise, Dr. Thorne made a call. Less than an hour later, a sleek black car pulled up outside the diner. A man in an impeccably tailored suit stepped out and entered. He walked directly to our table. "Dr. Thorne," he said, his voice calm and authoritative. "I came as soon as I heard. Are you all right?" He then turned to me, his eyes sharp and assessing. "And you must be the man who saved her." Dr. Thorne introduced him as Julian Croft, the CEO and founder of Ethelred Labs, a billionaire I'd only ever seen in magazines. I just nodded, completely stunned. I explained what happened, expecting to be fired on the spot for breaking every rule I was given. But Croft just listened, a small, unreadable smile on his face. When I finished, he was silent for a moment. "You risked your job and your safety for a complete stranger," Croft said, his tone one of genuine admiration. "That kind of integrity is rare. You didn't just save Dr. Thorne. You saved a technology that will change the world." He then slid a business card across the table. "I believe your employment as a night guard is terminated, effective immediately. I have a new position for you, head of my personal security team. The salary will be more than enough to ensure you and your daughter never have to worry about bills again." I stared at the card, then at him, then at Dr. Thorne, who was smiling warmly. I couldn't believe it. Just yesterday I was drowning in debt, and now a billionaire was offering me a life-changing job. When I got home that morning, just as Lily was waking up, the world felt different. The sun seemed brighter. I swept her up into a huge hug, burying my face in her hair. "Guess what, sweetie?" I whispered. "Daddy got a new job, and that bike you wanted, we're going to get it today." Her shriek of joy was the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. It was the sound of a new beginning, all because of one night, one impossible choice, and the courage to do the right thing. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed it, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. We love bringing these stories to life for you, and your support means the world to us. Let us know in the comments what you thought, and we'll see you in the next video.